Hey y'all, this is Alice Pastel. Please like, share, and subscribe. To get if you want to know whenever I come on and you don't want to miss anything, just make sure you hit the gray bell. So this is gonna be a blackout video or whatnot. So I want to give you a couple of ingredients, and it's more so it's I figure out what to title it when I finish it. But I want to talk about wholeness, being whole, and also singleness or whatnot. Because a lot of people really, we live in a society that people frown upon being single, or they think being single is just a terrible thing, or not really getting what they need to get out of their time of singleness. And that's why when we really don't get what we need to get out of certain seasons in our life, we end up making a mistake. We end up looking for people, looking for things in people, or looking for things outside ourselves, or end up choosing wrong mates, choosing people for a season, choosing people out of loneliness and out of fear. And when you choose people out of loneliness or fear, less likely it's not going to last. Whatever you build something on that is not strong, that is not sturdy, whenever you build a foundation that is not strong, it will fall, it will crumble. That's what I mean about it won't last. It's going to be temporary. When you build things, or when you make a decision based on a temporary feeling, or based on a temporary season, because like I talked about in previous videos, seasons will change. So when you do that, because keep in mind, you're always growing. We're always growing, we're always evolving. Okay? So when you grow, you end up outgrowing the person, the thing, or whatever you chose in the season that you was in, because you chose a person based on the season, or you chose a person prematurely, or when you was immature before you became more mature. Okay, so you have to be careful when you're not grounded, or when you're not whole, or when you're lonely, or when you're fearful. So, like I said, I've been learning, Like I said, I was thinking about life decisions, and I've always prayed for wisdom. So as I get older, I start to see my prayers being answered, and God giving me the wisdom that I need, and being able to learn from different experiences that I go through. And I understand now that regardless of whatever I've ever went through, that it was all a reason behind it, because we have to learn certain experiences to be able to get certain things, so we can learn how to navigate in the future, or to be better. Okay? Because like when it goes back to me feeling like me marrying young, if the me now can go back to the younger me. I would tell the younger me to slow down, to enjoy the singleness, to live life, okay? Because the longer you live, you keep living, you learn stuff. And the less you experience, the less you go through, how can I wrap that? Well, I would tell me to pay attention, okay? And live life, because the more you live life, the more you learn. You start to piece the puzzles and put the pieces together. But when you jump ahead and you think you just know, or you just foolishly do things without thought, without second thought, you end up losing the game. You end up losing not just the battle, but the war as well, because you're not thinking, you just doing. So me learning not to just do stuff, I'm learning to think. To not just think for the moment, but to think ahead and plan accordingly. And learn from every decision and every lesson, because I don't take L's. I don't lose, okay? I don't take losses. I take lessons. Those are the only L's that I take. And a lot of those L's, a lot of those lessons didn't feel good, but hey, I would not be where I am today had I not got every single hurt, right? Every single experience, every heartbreak, to every mistake, okay? So, going back into the heart of it. So, the ingredients when it comes to enjoying your singleness is not letting people rush you. Because when you allow people or things or society to rush you into a family, rush you into marriage, because regardless of what other people think, what religious have taught you, you don't rush into certain things prematurely, because you have to be whole, right? So it goes back to God, and he talk about a man and a woman, a bride, and the church, and him coming for his bride, and even the marriage, okay, between a man and a woman being equally yoked, meaning being balanced, being whole, being one, being in union, right? Because just because you're married to somebody don't make you equally yoked, don't make you one, right? Sometimes people think just because you're married doesn't make you automatically become one. That's why you have people going through growing pains. You know, it take them years to become one, to get on one accord. And that's because they wasn't one before they even became before they got married. Because marriage is more of a spiritual thing than it is the physical. Um and God shows that, because a lot of people think of it as a contract or a piece of paper, which it is a form of a contract, but it's watered down in society And people just do it just to be right in front of a God's eyes, or to feel good about themselves, so they won't feel like they're um I guess not right in front of God's eyes, so they can feel like they're not in sin or this and that and that. But as I grow, I learn like, nah, you don't want to let nothing rush you. You need to know that you know. And not only that, how you know is when you have worked on yourself in your singleness, because singleness is a gift, and everybody cannot handle it. Some people will just fold, and people will start operating out of fear and be so in a rush of trying to be with somebody or look for somebody out of their fear of being lonely or dying alone, that they rush into false relationships and end up getting sucked into this lust, which I like to call false love, okay? Or they get suckered in or lured in by their wants and by greed. And it just become confusing. They confuse themselves, okay? I'm trying to articulate it. I'm trying to really explain it, because people don't marry out of, it's not even love anymore, because love conquers all, right? And people that really don't know how to receive love, or they really don't understand love, they will misinterpret love for lust, or misinterpret their wants for their needs, meaning money. They're married for money, or they're married for stability, financial, which is the same, security. They are married to get out their parents' house, or they're married for shallow reasons, okay? And it'll end up backfiring, because at the end of the day, you can never let your wants exalt your needs, okay? And sometimes people confuse their needs for their wants, their necessities for their wants. And we'd rather go with what we want than what we need. And it messes us up every time. So, keynotes out of this. You have to learn how to be alone. You have to be comfortable with being alone. See, I had to go through a few things to finally get comfortable with being alone. Meaning that won't nobody rush me into wanting something, or to jumping into a relationship, or combining my life with somebody else's. I'm at the point now, I'm not too quick to do it, because guess what? I have learned how to be whole. So now I'm not looking for anything outside of me, outside of Alice, right? And the way that you come whole is through self-love, through self-worth, and also finding who you are. And also in purpose. Because when you live in purpose and you learn what your purpose is, you're not so quick to jeopardize that, because if you get with the wrong person or the wrong thing, it would distract you, and it would detour you, and it will tear everything up that you done built. So, warning to the people that are listening. If you're following, don't allow your wants to destroy your destiny. Don't allow your desires to destroy you, because they will. Your will, that ego, it will destroy you in every which way possible. So a lot of times we do things, our will, because you have free will to do whatever you want. We let our pride and our ego mess us over, because we think that we're doing what's best, and we think we're making a great decision with life when it comes to career or anything. And we get time stolen from us because we fail to yield. You have to be aware, because like I talked about in the last videos, when it comes to your next move, it's going to determine your next 7 years. It's very important, because at the end of the day, if you look back over your last 7 years, or should I say your last 7 to 9 years, because now we're in the 9th year, the second year of the next cycle, because 7 is completion. So that's why I said if you look over your last 7 years, but because we 2 years into a new cycle, if you look over your next 9 years, the last 7 of those, I know for sure, was not rainbow, butterflies, and unicorns. I know for sure. It was a lot of trials. It was a lot of heartache, a lot of heartbreaks, a lot of pain, a lot of learning experience, just a lot of foolishness, a lot of lack, a lot of immaturity, a lot of games, a lot of just trying to figure stuff out, right? It was a drought, okay? So when it comes to helping you, okay, look at me as Joseph right now. When Joseph advised the king, he was second in command. Joseph was a prophet. He had dreams and visions, okay? And he was able to see above, see ahead, right? So he directed the king, gave him instructions on how, if he managed what he had in these years to come, that the next cycle, the next 7 years of drought that was going to come, the famine that came on the land, that he will be fine. And after that, because right now at the time he was in an overflow, but it's opposite for us, right? But it can backfire, and it can counteract with however your next move go in life, your decisions, okay? So going back to the key thing, you have to learn how to use your gift of singleness. You have to learn how to be content with yourself. You have to be able to be whole with yourself. And when you become whole with yourself, understand who you are, your purpose, your life purpose, and all this other stuff, because it's all tied into you being whole, and you not rushing into stuff, and you not doing stuff out of loneliness or making false moves out of loneliness. Because as you get to know yourself, you get to know God, and y'all become whole. Y'all become one. You come one with God before you go to try to come in one with another human being, because it will not work. He is your foundation, because it's Him first, God, family, purpose. And you find your purpose with Him. to be honest. So it goes back into Boaz and Ruth. Boaz found Ruth working. She was right where she needed to be. She was positioned where she needed to be. Okay? She wasn't looking for nothing because guess what? She was in purpose. So that's why they say if you keep working, if you're in your purpose, you're gonna find who you're supposed to be with. In your purpose. So when you in your purpose, you ain't rushing for nothing, and you ain't gonna make a mistake because guess what? Whatever needs to be around you, because God ain't gonna let the things in that don't supposed to be around you anyway, unless you're not in the proper place, right? So you wonder, if you're making mistakes or you got the wrong thing, then that means you out of place. You was in the wrong place. So yeah, whatever happened, happened. And it was still lessons for you to learn before he gave you what was rightfully yours, your inheritance. Because guess what? As long as you out of place, you'll never get your inheritance. So that's another motivation to be where you need to be. So you can be in place. So you get what's rightfully yours. So going back to Boaz and Ruth. When you're in place, when you're in purpose, then God will bless your union and whatever you need, because whatever is meant, whatever is ordained by him will be. And you don't have to operate in fear and in loneliness to get it, because it will just come to you. Just like that, fall in your lap, just like that. And won't nothing confuse you. And won't nothing have you second guessing or have you doubting what you got, because you will know that you know that what's yours is yours. Because when you're whole, you already had it connect. You already know. And that's how you truly become equally yoked. When a person is already whole and you're whole and y'all come together. And that's what makes union. That's what is marriage. That is what is the ultimate goal. Okay? So, I'm just, like I said, I'm grateful. It took me a while to get to the point of being content with who I am and where I am in my season. Singleness is a gift. Everybody can't do it. Everybody won't do it because they so in a rush and they want. Or they brainwashed and look at love as something totally opposite from what it really is. They look at love, the love of money and greed and all that, and they go by that. So if you going by that, then this ain't for you. But this for my people that is virtuous. Okay, this is for the virtuous women and men. Y'all will feel me and know what I'm coming from when I say this. You can't all that greed and self-gain stuff. That's for the birds, okay? It should be more than about self at this point. I'm talking about my humanitarians, okay? People that look beyond just them. It's not about just you. You're not selfish. You're selfless. And that's love. You understand love to another capacity. So, I hope this helped you guys. So if you didn't get anything from this, just know that when you become whole within yourself, and you become whole with knowing who you are and with being in purpose and being in alignment and being positioned, that's how you get your inheritance. That's how you build a legacy. That's how you build the kingdom. By being whole in yourself and not operating in fear and loneliness and confusion. Because if any time you have doubt, if you have confusion about anything, it's because whatever you're dealing with is not of God. It's not him, because God is nowhere near confusion, or doubt, fear. So just know that. So when you learn how to be whole, content with being single, being happy in your singleness in that season with life, when you did your hard work, and you become whole, won't nothing rush you, won't nothing pressure you. You'll make better decisions. Because when that thing come, when that right thing come, or that right time come, divine timing, that divine person, that divine job, that divine assignment, you will know. And won't nothing confuse you. So, y'all be good.